MSNBC, the Democrats' largest mouthpiece, is officially dead, defunct. It's a dead brand. This is a huge victory that I think too many Republicans, especially MAGA people, have passed up. This was the number one voice against Trump on the internet and on broadcast television, and it's gone.
It's the Doug Show, Doug Show, Doug Show. It's the Doug Show, Doug Show, Doug Show.
Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. Part of why we're so happy is because MSNBC is dead. So I thought I'd invite you to this funeral. Come on over to this funeral. I remember I was at this great uncle's funeral and my cousin broke wind very fast on our pew during the service, and we could not stop laughing for the entire funeral. It was one of those times where you're like, I couldn't even look at him. I kept laughing so hard. And we're going to make a giant fart during this MSNBC funeral also. Watch this. Here we go. This is, let's see, this is Deadline Hollywood. MSNBC makes a shift to MS Now. That's the new branding. Really bad idea. They put a space in there. MS Now as part of split from Comcast. Now, I'm just filling in the details on this. We've gone over a lot of this already. MSNBC transformed into the newly named MS Now on Saturday morning as the network splits from the parent company, Comcast. So that's Comcast / Universal. They have NBC still, but they dropped the MSNBC news brand. Don't adjust your settings, Jonathan Capehart, co-host of The Weekend, told viewers after 7 a.m. Eastern Time from studios in Washington, we're formerly MSNBC. As of this moment, we have a new name, MS Now, which stands for, are you ready for this? This is like memorizing scripture now. My source for news, opinion, and the world. MS Now, my source for news, opinion, and the world. So they've expanded their brand from just Democrats in America to now they're going to tell the whole world what to think. But other than that, and these snazzy new graphics, not much is changing. Bottom line, same mission, new name. So they're going to keep the mission the same, which is to ruin the network, destroy their own business, and lose credibility and shrink the audience. That's been the mission so far, not their branding. That's not what they tell you, but that is in fact what has been happening. Moments later, viewers saw Morning Joe Weekend host Willie Geist, the cardboard man, sign off for the final time under the MSNBC name with a shot of the NBC Peacock logo. Now, it's that NBC Peacock logo that is trying to maintain its own strength by spinning off MSNBC. NBC wants nothing to do with this company. MS Now has been preparing for this for the last year when Comcast announced that it would be spinning off MSNBC alongside other cable news networks into a new company later named Versant. MS Now has built up its own newsroom. That's a stretch. MS Now has built up its own newsroom as NBC News no longer is a sister network. So they're not sharing resources with NBC News because apparently NBC News, though it is grossly slanted toward Democrats, it doesn't have enough slant to it for MSNBC's liking. So they have even less credibility than NBC News. MS Now will stream episodes. Oh, just like me? You mean just like every streamer? Just like Be Hizzy? Just like Professor Nez? Just like Lumberjack Logic? Just like Out of the Darkness? Just like all of us nobodies? MS Now is basically internet streamer, just like all of us. You could start a channel right now and have the same credibility as MS Now. And now, a word from our sponsor, Chapter. Many of you have called already, and you've said that they treated you very well. And to me, my audience has to be treated with great respect, or I will cut you down with this hedge trimmer. They're sponsors of the Doug in Exile channel, and that takes a lot of bravery. Many of you have called and said that you've already saved up to $3,000. The average caller of Chapter saves $1,600 a year. That'll buy a lot of hedge trimmers. So they're going to give you some free advice. It's a free phone call, 631-961-8696. Make sure that you call well before that December 7th deadline. Mornings are a real good time, and it's time to get on it. Quit procrastinating. Don't make me get out the hedge trimmer on you. Call Chapter at 631-961-8696 and tell them Doug in Exile sent you. It will not stream episodes of its shows after they air on Peacock. Now, this is the best news of all, guys. Let me get this up on screen. What does that mean? They're putting it behind a Peacock paywall. So I have no idea why. Now, Peacock is still, that's the MSNBC, proud as a Peacock, you know? So they have an inside trade deal with MS Now to stream. It airs them on Peacock, and then it doesn't allow them to be streamed. So MSNBC lost its broadcast abilities on cable. They stream them on Peacock on a streaming service behind a paywall, and then they're not allowed, apparently, to stream the episodes outside of Peacock. So they're actually going to lose internet market share. I may not be able to make fun of Morning Joe anymore and Rachel Maddow. They're going to hide it on Peacock and legally protect it to keep us from clipping it. You won't be able to find it. So their influence, bye-bye. Democrat Party, dead. The Comcast service, although past MSNBC shows like Morning Joe and Deadline White House with Nicole Wallace were still available as of Saturday morning, MSNBC ended its original programming on Peacock several years ago. But some NBC shows were available the next day. MS Now will be available to pay TV subscribers on its mobile app. So you have to pay for an app on Roku, tvOS, Fire TV, never heard of them, Android TV, don't use it, and Comcast Xumo connected apps. This is like particle physics now to find them. The website has changed as well. ms.now with the msnbc.com redirecting to the page. MSNBC was launched in '96 as a partnership between NBC News and Microsoft. Bill Gates, Epstein Island, who had since sold his interest in MSNBC because it was so terrible. Meanwhile, here's Ad Week. Look at the local ratings. Week of November 10th, cable news ratings, Fox News posts gains. MSNBC and CNN experienced year-over-year growth across the board, they say. This is TV Newser's basic cable network ranker. Fox News was the only network to record week-to-week gains this week in total viewers during prime time and total today. So CNN and MSNBC lost audience share again, though they're going to be profitable probably because they're shedding MSNBC. Wait, here's more. Here's Barrett Media. I'm just going to wrap up on this real quick. When MSNBC rolled out its new MS Now branding, it became very clear quickly that the network did not stick the landing. So this is a unbiased news media said they failed at the rebranding of MS Now. MSNBC was forced to modernize its identity and is now positioning MS Now as a news product built for faster, digital-first audience, hidden on Peacock. Yet the execution feels scattered. It's as if the network grabbed a new name, slapped it on every surface it could find, and hoped people wouldn't look too closely at the details. But the details matter. They always matter. Here's the details. Let's start with the basics. MS Now doesn't have control of the MS Now on Twitter MS Now handle. On X or Instagram. They didn't get the names. Instead, it's forced to use MS Now News. Those platforms remain some of the most important places to establish a clean, unified digital identity, especially when you're launching a brand spanking new moniker. So the guy that owns at MS Now on Twitter can post cartoons and bad memes of Rachel Maddow and make fun of her the whole time unless they pay him millions and millions of dollars to get that name. You can't secure the most obvious handle. You're already playing from behind behind. Meanwhile, the network does own MS Now on Facebook and TikTok, which is great, but the inconsistency across platforms undercuts the credibility they're trying to build. A brand that wants to feel sharp and coordinated without the need to flowchart and explain where to find it online. It can't be found online. This is a failure of a launch, and we love it because it means that the Democrat messaging that they're going to run through MS Now cannot be found by only, the internet. And that's why we're happy. Hope you guys have subscribed. Thanks for watching. I'm Doug in Exile. And now a word of silence for the death of MSNBC.